to the entertainment Talking Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. Kind of been slow the last couple of days. Hasn't been a lot to talk about. It's why I've taken the last couple of days off. And I wasn't really going to make a video on this until I saw the attention that it garnered on Twitter. I posted a tweet basically just relaying the information that Saquon Barkley was ranked 8th at the running back position in Madden. It was by far my most liked tweet I've ever had. I think I'm at like 850 likes. So it clearly is a big topic of conversation, at least on Twitter. I'm not a huge Madden player. At the end of the day, I don't really care how people rate Saquon Barkley. I know in my heart, in my opinion, he is the most talented running back in the NFL. And I'll get into my reasoning as to why Madden may have ranked him as low as they did. I'll also show you guys the ratings and how he stacked up by other running backs. In addition to that, Maurice Jones-Drew came out with a list of his best running backs. MJD, of course, a former great running back for the Jacksonville Jaguars, was one of the top 2 or 3 running backs in the sport for at least a brief period of time, and gave his opinion on Barkley. He had him ranked 6th outside of the top 5 running backs in football. I'll get into his reasoning as to why Saquon Barkley did not crack the top 5. And I think most football fans would agree. You know, I made a video on this the other day. 50 people from inside the NFL said Barkley was the best running back. Now, maybe not everybody would agree with that, but I think most football fans would agree he's in the top 2, if not definitely the top 3. And you know what? It's kind of sad as Giants fans that this is what we have to care about. We need to get back to the days where we care about winning football. But right now, our team is not very good. And it was kind of the same thing we went through with Odell Beckham. We always said, well, at least we got one of the top wide receivers in the league. At the end of the day, I want to win football games, and so does Saquon Barkley. And I don't think Barkley cares where he's ranked on this list. But if he could use this as any kind of motivation, I'm all for it. You know, that's what I'll say. Use this as motivation. Madden ranked you the 8th best running back. Get to it. Prove everybody wrong. And I definitely think that Saquon Barkley will do just that this year. He's got a number of things in his favor. One, he's got Daniel Jones in his second year with more experience. He's got an improved offensive line after now that they will be switching Nate Solder to the right, and they spent the 4th overall pick on Andrew Thomas. And he's got an offense with Jason Garrett that I think will better suit his skill set. So I'm really excited to see what Saquon Barkley could do in year number 3 with the New York Giants. He's also coming off a year in which he's rested. He missed 3 games. He was used sparingly in some of the games after the fact because he was playing hurt. Shouldn't have been playing to begin with, which is why Maurice Jones-Drew pointed to his blocking ability. But I think that had a lot to do with the fact that he was banged up. That was never a real problem in his rookie season. I think Barkley's going to be just fine. I think he's going to have a great year. And yeah, I'm a New York Giant fan. I'm a huge Saquon Barkley fan. You call me biased, but that's my honest opinion. I think he's the most talented running back the sport has to offer. There's a reason he went number 2 overall. But I'm going to jump into the list by Madden, and I'm going to give my opinion as to why they may have had him where they did. But to me, it's kind of hypocritical when I talk about a few other positions and where they had the players ranked. So let's jump right into it. Here's the Madden's rankings of the top 10 running backs in going into 2021. Alvin Kamara and Josh Jacobs both at 88. Were 9 and 10. Barkley was 8th at 89, tied with Joe Mixon. Now, when you look at it with Mixon and Barkley, first off, these two players are not even close. Mixon, I think, had right around the same amount of scrimmage yards as Barkley last year in 3 more games for the Cincinnati Bengals. Barkley, of course, missed 3 contests. They both had 8 total touchdowns. Barkley averaged more yards per carry, and Barkley did it behind an atrocious offensive line. Not to say that Mixon didn't. Barkley also was banged up for at least 3 or 4 of the games in which he played in. He came back way too early. We all know that. So to have Mixon and Barkley tied is a joke. To have Josh Jacobs just 1 point behind him is a joke. Next up, Aaron Jones. Do I even need to speak on this? Yes, he got a lot of touchdowns, but even the biggest Packer fan, I don't think, would debate that Aaron Jones is a more talented running back than that of Saquon Barkley. Dalvin Cook, Zeke, Chubb, Henry, McCaffrey. Maybe you can make an argument for some of these guys. Zeke only had 4 carries of 20 yards or more last year behind the league's best offensive line and over 300 opportunities, so he lacks that explosiveness. I've talked about that in the past. He's a very strong run blocker, something that Barkley lacks in, at least last year, and he's very good short yardage back. So if you value that, I get it. Nick Chubb, I cannot put above him. I know Nick Chubb had a fabulous year last year. He had almost 1,500 yards. I'm not putting him above Saquon Barkley. Barkley's just a much more talented back. The same can be said for Dalvin Cook. They used him a ton in Minnesota, but I'm taking Barkley over all those guys, including Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had a bad year last year up until the last 6 or 7 games when he started to get rolling, but he's not nearly as versatile as Barkley. Barkley is a much bigger home run threat, and he's more versatile, but at least I can make an argument. As far as being behind Aaron Jones and tied with Joe Mixon, that is an absolute joke. But I get people who want Barkley to earn his reputation, to earn his way to the top of that list. Christian McCaffrey, of course, last year earned it. The guy had a 1,000 season. And I expect Barkley to have a very good year this year as well. And by year's end, I expect him to be at the top of this list, and if not, number 2. But it's an absolute joke that Madden had him where they did. But this should be no surprise to anybody. Madden has hated on the Giants for years. Go back to last year. Madden had Daniel Jones ranked below Tyree Jackson. Tyree Jackson was an undrafted quarterback coming out of Buffalo. He's no longer in the NFL. He was playing for the XFL this year. Going into last year, they had him ranked above Daniel Jones. And we all know, well, not all of us, but I know, that the guy who does the rankings for Madden is a Cowboy fan. That's not a lie. That is a fact. So we shouldn't be really surprised as New York Giants fans to see Barkley where he is. Next thing I wanted to pull up for you guys was what Maurice Jones-Drew had to say about Barkley and why he ranked him number 6. Barkley is one of the most talented players in the NFL. There's no questioning that. But his pass protection is horrible. Remember when Jamal Adams grabbed the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands and took it to the house? Well, that was Barkley's block. He missed it. And it cost the Giants big time. I need to see this part of his game improve. And you know what? If you want to rank him 6 because of that, you're a former running back, whatever. That's fair to say. That's your opinion. I disagree with it. I think his pass blocking is a lot better than what he displayed last year, specifically in that Jets game. I was at the Jets game. Anybody that was in the stands that day, anybody that watched that game knew that Barkley was not 100%. He had 1 yard on the ground. He wasn't making his cuts. He wasn't 100%. And when you're not 100%, not only is it going to limit your ability as a route runner, as a runner to hit the hole, it's also going to limit your ability as a blocker. Not to mention last year, Saquon Barkley had to deal with the fact that he was dealing with a rookie quarterback, a guy who does not see opposing defenses the same way as a veteran like Eli Manning. I definitely think Saquon Barkley will at least be an average blocker this year in the pass blocking department, especially with the addition of the new running back coach, Burton Burns of Alabama, a guy that's known as one of the better running back coaches in the entire country. Ingram has said nothing but encouraging things about him, along with Derrick Henry. So I think Saquon Barkley is going to have a big year this year for the New York Giants. I laugh at these things, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. And as a matter of fact, I encourage it. As New York Giants fans, we know the Giants do the best when they're doubted, or at least they have since I've been watching the team. I like when they're doubted. I like when people bash our players because it gives them incentive to go out there and prove the haters wrong, and that's exactly what I expect Saquon Barkley to do this year. Oh, you're going to rank me 8th at the running back position? Well, I'm going to show you. Not to mention Barkley is one in what I consider a contract year. You look at all the top running backs, they've gotten extended after 3 years. I've said it countless times. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Todd Gurley got extended. Christian McCaffrey got extended. Ezekiel Elliott got extended. And there was a number of others that have gotten extended off of just 3 years. And I expect Barkley to know that going in. He's playing for a contract extension. He's got an improved offensive line. He's got an improved offensive playbook, or at least we hope he does with Jason Garrett, who definitely features the run a lot. You go back and look, DeMarco Murray led the league in rushing behind the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. Not that we have that, but an improved O-line, the most talented running back in football, a guy that led the league in scrimmage yards in his rookie season behind an offensive line that was ranked in the mid-20s. I expect Barkley to go out there this year while he's rested. He wasn't beat up like McCaffrey last year because of the injury, and to just blow up this year for the New York Giants. He may even compete to shatter Tiki Barber's scrimmage yards record. So, in my opinion, all Madden did by this and all Maurice Jones-Drew does by this is add more motivation to an already extremely motivated Saquon Barkley. So as New York Giants fans, we really shouldn't care about this. We should care about wins and losses, but our team's been so bad the last few years. I get why Giants fans get emotional about these things and like to back up their players, particularly a player like Saquon Barkley, who's the face of this franchise. But we need to get over this, and we need to start caring more about winning and losing football games. Saquon Barkley is going to do his part this year. There's no doubt in my mind. He's one of the 10 or 15 most talented players in the entire league, not just at the running back position. I'm excited to see him play, and I'm excited to see him prove people like Maurice Jones-Drew and whoever the guy is that does the Madden ratings wrong. As always, guys, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe. drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.